Let's try this again. Okay, it's Friday. I've had a strange Friday. I woke up this morning with a splitting headache, really bad. I had a lunch date and I didn't want to break it because a lot of times I don't even go. So even though I felt bad and tried to sleep till I felt better, I went. I got sick at my friend's house. I hadn't done that in ages, upchucked. So I come back home and I don't know what the problem was, what I ate or whatever, but I'm feeling better. Not 100%, but I'm feeling better. So I'm checking in, and I see that Christophe in Switzerland has made a new video. I watched part of it. Always good to see you, Christophe. I watched a few other folks right quick, folks. The VC is good. So what I did yesterday was I went to the one local record store that I've stocked with Flyover, which is Almost Music. I went there to see how they're doing. I'm doing a commission with them, which I don't like to do. But I went to see if they had sold any albums, and they have not. I actually feel like I'm doing better by selling the records directly through, because I don't just want them sitting in the store. I want people to have them. It doesn't mean anything to me like it used to see my records sitting in record stores. Well, let me take that back. When I'm out of town, when I'm traveling, and I see my records, and I do see some in record stores, that's rewarding. But direct for me is the way to go to get Flyover, and it's going, folks. It's going. I'm getting close to 200 sales already, and people are telling me left and right, as I knew, it's damned good record. Matter of fact, let me just babble a little bit more. I just heard from my friend, where is it? Here it is. I just heard from my friend Jonas Bjør in Denmark. The lead singer behind the band Mew got his copy. And it's funny, he doesn't have a turntable. He didn't realize he was going to send him a record. Well, I can't play it. Are you on iTunes? And he really is a friend of mine. It's just fantastic that one of my favorite bands, the singer of the band, is a friend, a long-distance friend. And I told him that I would eventually try to get it on iTunes. iTunes and CD Baby, there are so many, to me, steps and legal things they want you to do that it really keeps me from doing it. I try to do this as simply and as directly as possible, but I sent him a link to my Bandcamp so he can hear the record. But he did babble about how beautiful the record was, and that means the world to me, coming from another musician whose music I greatly, greatly love. So I gave myself permission to spend $20 at the record store because I haven't spent any money on records. I haven't had the money. And so I allowed myself to spend $20, and so I'll show you what I bought in a minute. But I'm listening again to Hiromi Hosono, Mental Sports Mixes. Hiromi Hosono is a huge influence on me and one of my favorite electronic artists, period. Yellow Magic Orchestra, their music, kind of like, you'll go on a jag with certain music and you can't stop listening to it because it's so good to you. Hosono is a perfect example of that. And I've listened to this album now since I pulled it probably 8 to 10 times all the way through these last couple of days. Seriously. Fantastic for my ears. So, at Almost Music, what did I buy for $20? Well, I'll tell you, the first funny thing is, because my interest is so wide, it's hard to whittle down what will it be today. And strangely, one of the albums I bought with my $20 was a new copy of an album I already had, which may seem strange if you don't hardly have any money to spend on records. Why are you buying records you already have? Well, I'll show you why. Here's my original copy of Julian Priester, Peppo and Toto, Love Love on ECM. This is a bad jam. This is one of the coolest, funkiest records on ECM. Julian Priester. Anyone that has this album will let you know it's a mind bender. This is killer. I bought it when it came out, and so my copy is well worn ring wear. The spine is all beat from carrying it everywhere and playing it for everyone and fighting my brothers to get it back because they loved it so much. So when they had a slightly better, I mean, it's in better shape, it's not in great shape, but comparatively it's in much better shape than mine original. And he only asked for $6 for this. And this has gone up in value, so when I've seen it recently in used sections, they wanted more than I had to get for it. So for $6 of the 20, I got a cleaner version of Love Love. The cover is is in better shape, but the record is immaculate. This comes from a radio station, and the radio station obviously never played it. So I got a new copy of this amazing. Julian Priester is a trombonist, played in the Mwandishi version of Herbie Hancock's band. Fantastic music. I got two other records. One was for $2, and the other one was the rest of the 20. In their $1 and $2 section, I grabbed a sealed copy of the Wooden Tops. Now, the Wooden Tops are a band that are completely forgettable, but when they were around, I kind of liked it on the pop side of alt. Okay, this was sealed, and they only wanted $2, and I said, I gotta grab this. I like the song, It Will Come. The song is It Will Come. Now, what was interesting about this, as happens sometimes with records, is that the stamper that stamps the label will get jammed, and it'll do a multiple stamp. And that's what happened to this one, so I went ahead and pulled as easy as I could the extra labels. All they're damaged, I'm keeping them, so that's kind of cool. But the Wooden Tops, I forget where they're from. It seemed like for a minute they were gaining in popularity. Nothing really exceptional, but to me this is an idea of pop that had, when they came on, they didn't sound like everybody else. When they came on, when their songs come on, you don't immediately think, oh, that sounds like REM, oh, that sounds like... So that's part of what I liked about them. The other album that I spent the most on, I spent $12 on this, and the cover is in fair shape, but the record plays really well. SRC Milestones. And this goes back to the 60s and early 70s. The Quackenbush Brothers. I've always known about SRC. I've never owned any of their records. So now, finally, in 2014, I have an SRC album, Milestones. And this is decent. What I like the most about this is their version of Bolero by Jimmy Page. My favorite version of it is by Jeff Beck. But their version is really pretty good. It's an original on Capitol. There are a lot of records like this and prog records that are kind of okay, that still, if I had the money, I still want them. I just want them, you know. I've always wanted them, and this is a perfect example of a record I used to just look at in the store as a kid. Just think, what does that sound like? Man, that's cool. Man, I wish I could own that. And now I do. Some other records sitting out. Oh, something else. While I was at the record store, he saved this poster for me. Back in December, in Dreama, the band that I'm in, we played a show with Cursive. Surely some of you guys know who Cursive is. And so they did a 3-day residency at the waiting room. And I wanted it because in Dreama, here we are. In Dreama was one of the opening bands. And so I like to collect posters and flyers of my gigs. So I grabbed that while I was there. What else is sitting in my stack? Well, I showed you Mew. I love this band, and I just really don't understand why they're not bigger. I don't. While I was pulling the Mew, this came out because it's MEW-MEZ, Mezzo Forte. This is something I bought that I still haven't gotten real familiar with. It's jazz, and it looks like it was recorded. It's on an Italian label, but the names look Swedish to me. This was recorded in 1982 in London. I'll get back to you on this because I don't remember if this is any good. Here's my Flyover album. I do realize that out of sight, out of mind. So this is one of the best records to come out in 2014 already. I can say that with confidence. Stefan Zellner played this last night and again this morning before I went back to bed. He was in a late edition of Amandul. And this is a great album, Prism and Views. Doesn't sound like Amandul. This is very proggy and melodic. And also pop. Great. François Bréant, Sons Optiques on the Egg label. Great label, Egg. Cinematic music, not really like mine, more cinematic, you know. Definitely something that could be used to score films. Keyboard, synthesizer, or bass. He has guest musicians like Didier Lockwood, and that's the main name here I recognize. Oh, Pascal Arroyo, I don't know where from. Guy Delacroix, I do recognize these names. This is excellent. François Bréant. I had this out kind of tripping on Egg Records. It's a compilation that was given to me by Prog and Jazzman. And I listened to the side with Popol Vuh on it. I love cool comps like this. Trisomy 21 came up. Brett, Life on This Planet blog on Facebook had shown where he had found some, I think at a thrift store. I never see Trisomy 21 records on vinyl. Belgian band, Cold Wave is what they call it. I like them. I have this, Shift Away, probably one of my favorite singles by them. It's interesting, this band, the singer is always off key. Anybody else notice that? This man singing is almost always goes sharp on the records. Like Ian Brown of the Stone Roses Lives, Ian Brown cannot hold a note. That's why I don't sing, because I have the same problem holding the note. Same problem here. Fantastic music. The vocals, it's like, what? Listen to this all the way through. Kawabata Makoto, the guitarist for Acid Mother's Temple. This is called White Summer of Love Dreamer. And I bought this from the band on tour, a couple tours. I've seen them 3 times now. Kawabata signed it for me. This is beautiful. Beautiful. I'd use the word ambient, but it's more psychedelic than ambient. Fantastic. I love the fact that Kawamoto remembers me. The last 2 times I saw him, I remember you. I love it. Do I sound like a child when I say stuff like that? You know something, I don't care, because it's the little things. One of the things I keep looking at, I'm going to take a break and come back to the records, but one of the things I keep looking at as I'm assessing what's going on in the world now, looking at the world's leaders, looking at people who are in positions of prominence and what they're doing, and the way they go around puffing themselves up like they're important, smart, and know what they're doing, and they all look like complete idiots and assholes and fools, chasing power and money and prestige, and a lot of it is based on lies and falsehood. And these are the world leaders? This is what we're supposed to grow up and want to be? These are mature people? Are you fucking kidding me? So that's why the simple things in life, just wanting to get some good records, just to get a good night's sleep, have a nice visit with a friend. These things are of the utmost importance in life. Motherfucking fools chasing that, do you feel me? And every day the news gets weirder about the missing plane, about America flexing with Russia over Ukraine. America don't give a fuck about Ukraine. America just wants to make, the military-industrial complex wants to make money. That's all they want to do. They don't give a fuck about people. Played this all the way through yesterday. Still amazing. You Made Me Realize by My Bloody Valentine. I saw them do this live. They did the sound, the last half of You Made Me Realize, half an hour long. It was amazing. Just a physical wall of noise. It just, it was like an audio massage. This is fantastic. An original on Creation. Split Second from Belgium, again, was influenced by talking to people online. Rob Clark in Illinois was playing a bunch of Wax Trax stuff yesterday, and he put on some Split Second. I said, hell, let me listen to some. What I really enjoyed was Firewalker, this single by Split Second. Forgot how good, this is a real good song. Again, I point out how this Hosono is just, wow, this is just so good. It's just fantastic. Maybe about a year or two ago in Dreama, opened a show for this next artist, Ahmed Jankanabe, Boo Boo King. I know I talked about this at the time he signed the album for me. He had members of Gang Gang Dance in his band. It was fantastic. It was fantastic, really hypnotic. Couldn't stop dancing, but not just dancing, doing the boo-boo thing, you know, getting into their rhythms. And he was just a really sweet guy. Really liked meeting Jankanabe. Fantastic. Reverberie from Italy, Timer. For me, this is on the lower end of what I like from Italy. A little bit of schlock on here, a little bit of prog, a little bit of jazz rock. So when I play this, certain cuts I have to skip over because I think they're terrible. And then there's other tracks on here that are really, really good. Last thing sitting out that I played was Necropolis, the Hackled Rough and Shoulder Mane. Here's something I took a chance on, used a while ago. It just looked interesting, and it is. This is good. This is an example of, quirky is not quite the right word. This is good. It's odd though. I can't quite put my finger on. Sometimes Devo comes to mind a little bit. Necropolis, the Hackled Rough and Shoulder Mane, really good. Because I really need to do this, I'm going to end this short video. Well, it's not that short apparently. By again pumping up my new album, Flyover. This is the best record I've ever made. The manufacturing of a CD copy, which I thought I was going to do, is now postponed. I can't afford it. The music, you can burn a damn CD if you want, because it's online. So when you buy this from me, and I'll put the links, go to Bandcamp and download a free digital copy. This is not a vanity project. Thank God people are listening to this record. I mean, because that's the thing. People buy records. But admit it, folks, sometimes we buy records and we don't even get a chance to listen to them because we're so busy buying. I've been there. But when you put this on, I gave you something to listen to. This is not vanity. This is some good shit.